All right, taking engine apart 101. Step 1 is...
Don't buy a boat with an old engine.
Step 2, after buying said old boat.
Take apart a boat engine in the middle of nowhere where there's no parts and no service. The taxi driver said left side is the right side is suicide. In case you missed last week's episode, let me get you caught up with what we've got going on here. Orly and I sailed into the Bahamas a few weeks ago and landed in the Berry Islands. Since then, our 50-year-old engine has been giving us nothing but issues.
I'm so glad my baster.
Using it for all the right reasons. Trying to enjoy some time here. So just working on the boat, because that's all we've been doing. Well, it started as a little bit of overheating, and then it went from bad to worse in just a few days. Basically, we ran the engine for like 10 minutes to get the anchor up, and then it overheated like right away.
Crazy. Went up to like what, 200?
It was like 200, 220, yeah. We were left with no choice but to head to the nearest island with a machinist. So we ended up here, on the west side of New Providence, with a machinist we'd been talking to right in downtown Nassau. Orly and I live and travel aboard our little 37-foot sailboat, Silver Lining. We refit the boat, quit our jobs, and now we sail full time.
Yay! Got it. Wow, that's a nice one.
Yeah. Subscribe if you're new here, and welcome aboard. Wow. All right, this is our rental car. Keep left. This is gonna be interesting. I waived the insurance. I don't know if that was a good idea or not, to be honest. They drive on the left-hand side, but I have a left-hand drive vehicle. I guess because I'm from the US. Let's see how this goes. I need to go get oil, coolant, some other random things for the engine for the work that we're gonna do, and I need to get there safely. Let's see. How's this gonna go? The taxi driver said left side is the right side is suicide.
Oh, this is weird. Okay, so you're gonna be... Oh, this just feels wrong. So nice. It's so nice out. It feels amazing. This is a cute little car. All right, taking engine apart 101. Step 1 is...
Don't buy a boat with an old engine.
Too late. Step 2, after buying said old boat.
Take apart a boat engine in the middle of nowhere where there's no parts and no service. Today's the day. We're taking apart the head. Taking the head off the engine. We have a guy that's going to be able to resurface the head. He's going to do it for us tomorrow, and then hopefully get it back to us tomorrow night, and we can put the head on tomorrow night. So we've left it all together as long as we could in case we had to like move somewhere really quickly. Now we're down to the wire, so we're getting everything taken apart.
Tomorrow morning we will be heading over there. Yep. And the guy said it shouldn't take more than an afternoon, so... Yeah,
he knows that we're on anchor and that we can't be here for super long because there is like weather coming. This is a little bit risky because we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Hopefully no parts break. But we do have like the whole head gasket kit, and we have all of our stuff. So we just need to get all this stuff taken off, and then we can take it up to him. So back when we were in Fort Pierce, I think, we started to have issues with the engine cooling. It was just building heat faster and more often, so we figured something was going on. I went to the Harbor Freight there and I bought a combustion leak detector. It's nothing crazy. You just have this little thing that you fill with fluid, which is this blue stuff. So it's a test fluid. You fill this up just a little bit, and then you have this
like a
ball sort of thing. Yeah. You put this on top, and basically this will draw air into the system and it'll flush it through that blue fluid. If that fluid starts to turn green and then yellow, you have exhaust gases in whatever you're testing. So We used this to test the bubbles that were forming in our coolant, because for a while we thought the coolant bubbles were just boiling water inside, like localized little pockets. Turns out it's probably coolant because this stuff started to turn green.
It's been difficult to figure out whether or not it has been turning.
Yeah, sometimes
it's been like a lighter blue.
Yeah, almost.
And then sometimes it's just that same color. So we tried testing it in different
really
areas.
changes. Sometimes it doesn't really change, but it seems like it's gotten worse. If I could test the bubbles when they had like just formed, instead of like letting them kind of evaporate away, then usually it would start to turn green.
Yeah.
So that's why we think that it's a head gasket issue. The other reason why I would suspect head gasket is we didn't really have too many issues with the engine until after, if you guys remember, the pulley on the water pump came off when we were in the Dismal Swamp. This pulley was like kind of hanging off our water pump and the keyway was gone. That sump under the engine's totally full of water. And then this was all full of water. We've got the bilge pump pumping it out now. And we may have not noticed it wasn't really cooling, and that could have blown our head gasket / warped our head, or the head could have already been a little bit warped because the engine's always leaked a little bit of coolant.
Yeah.
So we're trying to like solve the issue now. Yeah, and we weren't really running the engine as hard as we are now, and we really need the engine now. So this is the spot that we're in. So this is what we're gonna try. And this, at least when we do this, I think we'll like for sure have a good head gasket, have a good head. If it still overheats, then we have to look elsewhere at that point.
And I think this is the most costly thing. I think everything else that it could be, I mean, like you said, maybe a radiator cap that needs to be
like random little things, but it's gotten worse.
Issue.
The fact that it's getting worse makes me think it's head gasket.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really leaning towards that. So, and it does blow a little bit of white smoke on startup, so that tells me it's probably the head gasket. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. So taking it apart now?
Yeah.
So do you want me to be on this side or?
I need you, yep. Because what's going to happen is I'll pull this out.
Yeah.
It's going to end up in my lap. Then I spin, and then I have to get out. And because it's really heavy, it's hard to do that.
I wonder if you could just set it on your lap there and I could maybe lift it. I mean, I know it's cast iron, but it's really heavy.
It's very heavy. If I just put it on my lap, I can rotate it. Okay, you ready? It definitely moves.
It does, I just saw it.
Let's see if we can get it. Just see if we can go up and not take it off. I just want to see if the whole thing is free.
I just know that we probably have to do it very evenly.
Yeah.
I'm like scared I'm gonna move something out.
Yeah, it's moving. I can see it. Yeah. I remember it was really difficult the first time we did this.
Are you pulling?
I'm trying, yeah. Yeah, you got it moving. Okay. Yours like came up and down.
Did it?
Yeah, I felt it when you dropped it. Let me try and lift from here. I don't know if mine is loose enough yet over here. Oh yeah, it's definitely. See if you can pick your end up, if we can do it both at the same time. Maybe. Yeah, it wants to come off. It's like right there. 1, 2, 3. God, okay. Oh, that's good.
Put it back down.
It's loose now. We just gotta get it off. So we got the head off yesterday. Orly just took it into the machine shop. I stuck around, which is fine because I need to, there's still a little bit of stuff I need to do before we can get the new, or I guess before we can get the resurfaced head back on. Mainly that is going to be preparing the surface for the gasket, so I just need to basically use like a razor blade to just scrape off anything that's on the block right now where the head gasket's going to sit on. Hopefully we get the head back today and it's all good, and we can pop this thing in tonight or tomorrow morning and hopefully get out of here soon. We're exposed to the west and there's a system coming in that's going to have westerly winds in 2 days, so we really want to be out of here by then. With some pretty bad weather headed our way in just a few days, we really needed to get the engine back together as soon as we could. With no time to waste, we were working as fast as we could every day until we hit our first pretty major bump in the road.
I tried to go to the place that's gonna fix our head gasket. Stood there for a minute. There were people across the street and they were like, yeah, he's probably not gonna be there today. It's closed, it's the holiday.
And then this is like, we were right on schedule to have this thing done, and it sucks because yeah, we just have some weather coming in that we don't really want to be in this anchorage for. A setback like this was going to cost us in the end.
So yeah, I'm just gonna head back now. Not having done a single thing, but I spent like 4 hours just driving. Yeah, so that's my day.
We were already so short on time before this weather system came in, and at this point, we weren't sure if we were going to make it out in time.
Got nothing done.
Everything is closed.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. But we'd done everything we could, so we decided to take it easy for the afternoon and do some sightseeing in downtown Nassau.
So what do you think of this place so far?
It's
Money.
Americanized.
Yeah. Overstimulated?
Does not feel like the Bahamas.
No, it does not. Let's take a picture. All right, do you want to tell what happened? We bargain here.
Well, we're not used to bargaining in the States. She was like, we usually do 55, but what do you want to spend? So we're like,
40?
40.
She's like,
yeah, sure.
It's probably like $15, but it's like,
Yeah. All right, so this is our second attempt at getting this repair done, and we're gonna go do laundry and all that, so hopefully there's no holiday today. We're kind of in a rush because we got so much stuff going on with our house, and we got stuff going on with the boat, and we're trying to get laundry, and we're trying to get out of here, so we're just kind of like in a rush.
Currently we're in between renters. We're trying to figure out new renters that are going to be renting our house.
We gotta get the house cleaned.
Have to get the house cleaned.
All sorts of stuff.
But we're doing good.
We're just on the move.
Yeah.
Which is good. Okay, it's the next morning after our really rough day. Or at least trying to figure out how to get us some cash. So basically what's going on, the guy just called to tell us that the part is done, but he says it's gonna be $30 more. The problem is we weren't able to get any cash yesterday.
Alrighty, I'm currently walking to the other side of the airport. I tried one ATM, it went all the way through, and then I canceled my transaction. So I'm about to go to the international departure and see if that works.
So I gave him $100, it's gonna be $150 total. I gave him $100 as like a deposit. We have literally, this is the amount of cash that we have right now. So there's like $29 in cash, and scrounging to try and find cash anywhere. And we can't get out of any of these ATMs. So Orly is now texting one of our new cruiser friends who just offered to help us move the boat to a better spot in the anchorage for the system that's coming. That didn't work. Now we're gonna ask them for cash. We're gonna offer to like pay them back. But yeah, so like we can't find cash, and then this guy is like, I tried to offer him to buy him anything that he needed, like gas, groceries, whatever. He's like, no, I don't need anything. He doesn't take any sort of digital currency at all. So yeah, we're gonna try and find cash from our neighbors, which is like a weird feeling. Oh, and if this doesn't work, I think what's going to work is this guy's wife has some sort of shop. He said like if it works in a machine, we can go pay her in the shop. I don't know if it's like a hair salon or something, and then yeah, it'll be like a $100 haircut or something. I don't know. The haircut that I really need. People talk about how great the boating community is, and this is just another example. We were out of cash, and in desperate need to get our engine back together. We felt so weird about asking strangers for money, but like so many people have told us, we all run into issues out here, and when it comes down to it, most people are more than willing to help you out, because we've all been there. Our neighbors helped us out with some cash, and we paid them back, of course, and we were off and running again. We finally got our engine back, our head back. We are so freaking happy. Yeah, so like what this whole issue has been in this section and this section, so in between the two outside cylinders in these areas, he said that this basically was pretty warped, and he actually had to weld this and then smooth the entire surface super flat, and it looks freaking fantastic. He was basically saying this was causing bad compression in the engine, which we may have just not known because it's been like that forever, but that also probably would be our cooling issue. So we are going to try and put all this back together.
I don't know how anybody else's boats are set up where their engine is. Just curious. Ours is obviously in the cockpit, like what you've seen before, and I'm just curious to know where everybody else's is, depending on what kind of boat they have. And here you go.
How much of a pain in the ass is this to do on other people's boats?
Yeah.
Alright, so you might be able to tell, I don't know if you can tell from the sound or not, but we got the engine running. It's all back together and running. But now, we didn't get out of this bay before this front came, and it is gnarly in here. Wow. Really, it's getting worse too. We've had gusts up to 30. I think we're supposed to get gusts up to 35 or 40. We're exposed to the west, which is right out there, and that's where it's all coming from, and that's the ocean. It almost looks like breaking waves in here. I mean, it's gnarly, man. It's getting rough now. It wasn't this bad before, and in the past 10 minutes, it's gotten really nasty. So how will we manage to make it out of this one? We just got the engine put together, and now we're pinned on a lee shore, facing 30 to 35 knots. Things are about to get really interesting, and that's where I'm going to leave that one. Thank you all for joining us this week, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new here so you don't miss out on all of the crazy adventures to come. A big thank you to our patrons. If you'd like to help keep Silver Lining going, consider becoming a patron for as little as $3 per month. I'll leave a link in the description below. Don't forget to check out tgesailing.com to pick up one of our shirts, hats, or koozies. My favorite is our Wanderer Series t-shirt. Okay, thanks again for watching, everyone. We will see you next time.
Nothing works. Sailors surviving off Cheez-Its.
All day.
Sorry,
I thought it was about to be $700.
What?
But it was.
Why would you
She didn't explain anything. She's like, I'm just authorizing your card for $706. I'm like, what the fuck?
Alright, I walked the entire airport and I may be on the do not fly list. I don't know how... There we go.